Have been in a crowd full of people, surrounded by hundreds, even thousands of people, and still felt alone. And I know I'm not alone in that feeling. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between standing out and standing alone. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and be sure to tune in every single Monday for brand new videos just for you. If you're ready, let's talk. Get ready, ready. I don't know about you, but I've had that feeling. I've had that feeling of being in a crowd of people, being around people, and not feeling connected. And that's really what it's about. It's about being connected. You can be alone and not be lonely. There's a difference. I've heard movie stars say, um, you know, I felt lonely. And when I was younger, I used to think to myself, how in the world could you feel lonely? You have people all around you. You have people, especially those who are really in their superstar stratosphere, like a Michael Jackson or Prince. You think, you've got people at your beck and call. There's no way on this earth you could tell me that you feel lonely. I don't believe it. But as I got older and started living life for myself, I realized I understood what they were saying. And being lonely or standing alone in a crowd is all about your ability or your inability to connect. It's all about making connections. We have to have that connection, and it can't just be on a screen or TV. It has to be a physical, meaningful connection. You have to be able to look into someone's eyes and read them and have them read you. And you know what? That's really uncomfortable, because that means that you have to kind of let those walls down and let people in. We have to understand that when it's time to connect, we need to make those connections, and we need to have people around us that are in our corner, that love us, that support us, and that we love and support them. Because in that connection is your ability to have meaningful relationships and find purpose. We were created and designed for other people. Our gifts and our talents are not for us. Our gifts and talents are for other people. They're to bless other people, and they also connect us to other people, so we can have empathy and sympathy and have compassion for each other. And in that, you're able to make connections, meaningful connections. And so that even when you're alone, like by yourself, physically by yourself, you're not lonely, because you still have those connections. They may not be that person, it may not be in your face per se, but there's a connection, there's a bond, there's something that connects you together. Now, people who are in a crowd of people and they don't feel that connection, they feel isolated, it's because they haven't made those connections. And usually what happens is, when you feel that way, when you're in a crowd of people and you still feel alone, it's interesting what happens. You tend to want to hide. You tend to want to be by yourself, because being in a crowd actually heightens your sense of awareness that you are alone. You have to be willing to put yourself out there to some degree. You can't say you want people to see you and you want to be heard and you want to be noticed, and then you're hiding. Say, for example, if you like, let's say you like art, you really enjoy looking at the beauty of art and artful pieces, and you're fascinated by how artists are inspired to create. So what you could do is you could start going to the local museum. Go to the events at the museum. Join a club or organization that features up and coming artists. Put yourself out there so that you can find meaningful connections. How do we connect? We connect when we find something in common with someone else. And from that, we're able to build community and build relationships. So you have to be willing to put yourself out there and not be afraid of what people will think if you don't say the right thing or you don't use the right grammar. It's okay. Some people are not going to be connected to you, and that means that they're not for you. But other people who really want to connect with you and really want to get to know you, they're going to connect with you regardless, because they understand that no one's perfect and we all make mistakes. So you have to be willing to step out and connect with people. You also have to be willing to let go of preconceived notions of what things are going to be like and just be open and flexible to go with the flow. I have to be careful not to let that drive to do things right and to have a spirit of excellence cause me to judge people inappropriately and put a wall up and push people out. So that's what I mean when I say letting go of your preconceived ideas and notions of people, and being willing to just be open and see how things unfold. In other words, kind of be willing to let things unfold organically. When you're putting yourself out there, realize that everyone is not like you. Everyone wasn't raised like you. Everyone didn't have the family home that you had or lack thereof. Everyone doesn't have the same background or education that you have. And so what you're looking for in that person is a meaningful connection. And that meaningful connection comes from finding something that you have in common and focusing on that and building. And from that, you build relationships. Now you go from being in a crowd of people where you feel isolated and alone to being in a crowd of people where you can pick out individual people that you've made connections with. So in that crowd, you're not alone. There is a difference between standing alone and standing out. Now, standing out, that all has to do with confidence and your ability to not be afraid to shine. Now, I think the two are kind of connected, and the reason why I think they're connected is because if you're not alone, if you have meaningful relationships with people, if you're connecting with people in a meaningful, productive, efficient, effective way, that will bring you into a new level of boldness and confidence. Think about it like this. If you're a mother or parent or father and you have a child and your child is doing something and they're really nervous about it, like, for example, they have to recite a piece in a play at school and they're really, really nervous about it. As a parent, what are you going to do? You're going to be there for them because you know that just sitting in that chair, you don't even have to say anything, just your presence. They see you and it gives them a surge of confidence. Why? Because they know that there's one person in that crowd that's rooting for them. There's one person in that crowd that's not going to laugh at them if they mess up. So having a support system, it gives you the boldness to stand out, to do what you probably wouldn't have done on your own because you have that accountability as well. So standing out is connected to your ability to be able to have boldness and confidence in who you are and know that even if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can try again. You can keep going. You can keep growing. You can keep learning. That mistakes are not final unless you want them to be. And so standing out in a crowd means that you've come to a place in your life where you've gained knowledge, you've gained experience, you've gained expertise, you've gained confidence in who you are. I'm ready to show the world what I can do. That was good. If you liked what you saw, if you liked what you heard, feel free to comment below and like the video. And if you're thinking of someone that you might want to share it with, feel free to share it. The more the merrier. I want to stay connected to you, and there's several ways you can do that. The first way is to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell. That way, every single time a new video is uploaded, you'll get a notification. Also, in the description box right below my face All of my contact information is right there. You can join my online family. It only takes a few seconds and it's painless. Or you can hop over to Facebook and continue the discussion with me and with a group of wonderful people. Until next week, take care.